Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Runers. The sound effects in this game are slowly driving me mad. So, oh, it's the Yggdrasil branch. That is both a good and bad thing. The thing is, he's kind of a pushover, and he can't stun us the way that, you know, he normally would, just purely because our lightning is going to repel him in very convenient ways. I'm actually going to use mindlessness, see if I can get that shock to clear everything out. Beautiful. I was kind of hoping he'd be a little bit closer when it happened, but not the end of the world. So, well, we got it. We had a little bit more mindlessness. Good time for a supernova. We also have rain. So, between all of it, he's doing damage to us, but he's not that threatening. So, how is the build? The build is, well, I mean, it hasn't improved since the last section. The damage on Pressure Blast isn't actually as... Oh, hey, I can't put any more air runes into it. Or, I mean, I could, but it's not necessary. So I'm just going to hold on to it. Let's keep going. So we've got what looks to be one heart, one cooldowny heart, I think. Hard to tell. Dodging fireballs. How long can I do it? The answer is, generally, not very long. I usually find hanging out in the center and turning off my spells. Okay, there we go. Good enough. Okay, so we get High Roller. On a Flawless Room, get a long-lasting buff. That's not a trait. The long-lasting buff is tempting, but let's see what else we got. On casting an ultimate, lower your non-ultimate cooldowns by 5... Oh. Okay, so you can't actually do the ultimate cycle. I was thinking Great Wisdom would let you cast Supernova, and it would reduce the cooldown of another Supernova. Not actually the case. We got Banshee's Wail, and then we've got Primal Mastery. Oh, right, I forgot to put points into that. I'm going to keep putting points into Primal Mastery. It's not the best, but it does let us actually push Pressure Blast past its normal radii? I don't know. But it ends up being... It's ending up being one of our strongest spells in our repertoire. Hiccups are a terrible thing, especially when you're Let's Playing. I need to turn on my auto attack or we're going to die. That would be hilarious. Okay, well, let's get over here, nuke them to death. Get another air rune. It's like this run wants me to use air runes or something. Well, okay. So, looks like we got one regular heart. That's good. Thank you, Doctor. We would be long dead if it weren't for Doctor. Let's be honest. And I mean both Doctor Who and, you know, just the Doctor perk. Oh, those dark mages are terrifying. Everything is terrifying. So, the obvious limitations of our current build. Uh-oh, that's a high-level spark elemental. That puts us in a really shitty position. Let's nuke him to death, and she's dead. Okay, there we go. So we get another shock rune. If I can get another water rune, I can actually do the water shock, which, ow, stupid poison clouds having longer ranges than they actually look to have. But... still, well, I've pretty much actually removed my chances of getting Flame Salvo, which is unfortunate. But, I guess just a basic eventuality. Note to self, cast Rain constantly. Okay, we've got our cooldown on Supernova, and I am not sold on the idea of constantly just waiting to be able to cast one singular spell before going between rooms, but at the same time, especially when we don't have, like, a truly solid build, it does end up seeming the sensible option here. Trying to hit these guys with a shock, yeah. I think that shock ability would be, like, insane and really cool, powerful, if and only if it, you know, had a slightly longer range. Because the fact that it has a shorter range than Pressure Blast means we're finishing off enemies before they get to, before my lightning gets to them, which is unfortunate, because I could totally see it being crazy useful. Get through here, nuke everybody, looks like we get fire, water, hey, there we go, and light. So at the very least our drop rate seems pretty good. So, I don't have a triple combiner, so why am I even trying? Let's go with entropy, all these things. Okay, now let's check the Runedex. That's resume game. Check the Runedex. Creatable. I have to use the mouse for this. Seriously, the menu navigation is kind of awful in this game. At least, normally. Okay, so we could go with Lights Nova, but that's kind of a last resort. Striker wouldn't be bad. We could go with another Supernova. We could go with Rain, Steam Blast, which is wildly different from Pressure Blast. Steam Blast, it's got a long cooldown though. Makes it kind of worthless. Aqua Devils, Scarlet Salvo. Ah, okay, so it's Fire, Air, Shock. That's actually not bad. That's not a bad choice at all. It does do lower damage than I'd like it to. The same doesn't matter that much. We got Caltrops, which is actually really good. Caltrops is fantastically good. Actually, I can make both. I'd probably switch out Rain. This way, I'd slow down all enemies. It's a consideration. Shock Array, not very good. White Lightning is tempting. I would rather have White Lightning, in my opinion, than the other Shock thing that we've got, even though they end up being semi-similar. We could make Fusion, Geocurse, Remnants, Tranquil Twigs, Traveler, Tase. Okay, so what we're going to do is Scarlet Salvo, and I'll think about Caltrops. But first, Scarlet Salvo. Goodbye, Mad Lightning. I'm going to put it here, because Rain is interesting, but ultimately not that great. I'll get rid of it, because it really does not have a place on our build right now. Next, let's take a look at what we could buff up here. Essentially, just the number of bullets, and since I'm not using shock runes on anything, because I could buff up Mad Lightning, but again, it doesn't have a place on our current build. So let's just toss it there. Only gives us one. It's unfortunate. Probably should have saved it for Water Shock. Oh well. So I'll think about Caltrops, but I'm not going to be able to use it until I beat the floor 6 boss anyway. So really what I'm looking for is a good alternate to the shock spell, which I guess you could... Oh, whoops. That's mindlessness. Whatever. I'll just use Scarlet Salvo. Okay, so it looks like Scarlet Salvo does about 3 damage per shot with mindlessness running, plus the Elven buff. That's convenient for us. And it does end up kind of sucking because... Ow. Okay, so let's just murder the crap out of him and keep our distance because... Okay, as far as I can tell, Scarlet Salvo ends up being the... It's not the buff that saves us, but it is definitely the buff that makes this better, which is good. Oh, and I picked up a health rune because I wasn't paying attention. And I almost pissed him off. Let's turn off our auto attack, wait for Scarlet Salvo to go, and use Pressure Blast, nope, to clear out the Power Shrine. There we go. And might as well destroy the Destructibles while we're here. So Scarlet Salvo definitely does seem like the right... It seems like the perfect spell for our combination here, because Pressure Blast takes out everything in front of us, pretty much without fail, and but it has, you know, a minimum range and a maximum range. It's essentially just kind of a spear that we hold at long distance and poke people with. I mean, it's an explosive spear. It's a conveniently explosive spear. Let's actually use this and explode. You're kidding me. All the dark spirits decided to go into hibernation at the exact same time. That sucks. Okay, so what I actually am going to do is back my ass up into them and just murder their faces. It works. Sort of. Kind of an awful strategy. At the very least, I can actually use Pressure Blast to do it too. Seriously, the fact that they all went into hiding as I supernovaed. The alternative is they could have actually gone into hiding when I supernovaed as a special ability. Both are entirely plausible. So we've got a fair amount of health. That's just a Mystic, which is good. We do actually have Supernovas, so let's take them out. Because those... Ow. Those everythings are terrifying. Those statues hurt. And we only have a couple more rooms left. I'm going to pick up this heart. It's going to get us pretty much up to full health. Grab all the cooldown hearts, too. I'm really glad I went with that perk. That definitely is making the whole Supernova thing pretty freaking viable. And last room we go into, storage room. It works. It pretty much prolongs this run and we don't have to worry about much. So the stairs, we're going to have to backtrack a little bit. I'm actually going to turn off auto attack, just in case we run across any treants in the next room, which actually might be possible, but doesn't matter. So we get to go down. So it can reduce cooldowns, increase knockback, and go with bullet speed. Let's go with cooldowns, because that helps everything. Especially Supernova, which I think used to have a 30-second cooldown, and feels like it got longer. Like they buffed it up to 40 because it was too good otherwise. So, ideally, we'd like to get that down as much as possible. Even 10% is like 4 seconds. And with the cooldown reduction hearts that we're, you know, picking up along the way, Well, that makes quite the difference. So, let's go through here. Uh-oh, hatchet zombies. Let's see if I can murder them before... Oh, shoot. One's a +1 hatchet zombie. Okay, I murdered him anyway. The essences of air are doing obnoxious things, but they're not super terrifying. Never mind, they're, like, super obnoxious. Wow, that hurt a little. Okay, let's grab the double combiner. See if I get any level of hardage from this. The answer is no. Oh, that's actually an enemy. Wow, I'm glad I just reflexively used my class ability. That helps. So let's just use our... Actually, I can probably use that lightning... Nope, never mind. Ends up being worthless. So we get Earth Rune, and we can go through here. That was quite the long passageway just to get to another storage room. Oh well, I ain't questioning it. Let's get through. Journeyman Mind Mages. Get with the nukes, take out the bandits, take out the everythings. Okay, and we get a heart. Perfect. It's going to prolong things. And we get a bunch of faux hearts that reduce the cooldown on Supernova at the very least. Like that. Just would like more regular red hearts. I think the drop rate on those goes down as you go down levels. Hey, there we go. We get an extra one. Not sure if it's going to pop us up to full, so I'm going to hold on to it just a little bit. Or sort of hold on to it. Kind of wish this game had, like, tanks. Like in Mega Man. That'd be convenient. So that was actually a really good demonstration of that crazy lightning move of ours in action. So I'm going to pick up that one. And no treants. It does actually bother me in this game that treants are a common enemy no matter what type of tile set you're on. So even though we're in a lava area, they still show up. Not sure why. So the slight amount of glare and just the fact that this game is actually kind of dark kind of makes it hard to see, which is weird. Rare that indie games are like too dark to discern. And looks like it's more storage rooms. Wow. Is this entire floor just going to be storage rooms? We've gotten like 4 thus far. Doesn't look like we got anything good though, which is a shame. Okay, so let's just pop mindlessness. Yes, it dropped down mindlessness a little bit. Ow. The one problem is I have Supernova in a super inconvenient place. It's A, which is... Well, the other thing is I do have to get close for Supernova. So honestly, I would say Supernova, while great, is ultimately replaceable as well. Either that or I could just keep pumping light and earth runes into it to the point where it just does stupid damage. So what's this? I think this is Shrinky. So what we're going to do is quickly pop through. Yep, it's Shrinkify. Okay, so I'm going to quickly run through, bust up everything. Can't bust up the Power Shrine. So what we're going to do, this is going to suck, maybe. What we're going to do is Mindlessness, Class Spell, Supernova. Okay. There are very few people left at the very least. We got some treants, which is scary, but not the end of the world. And is that it? That's it. Okay, and we're going to... Could get a double combiner. Very tempting. Or I could boost my defense, because... the less damage we take, the better off we're going to be. Okay, Mental Mastery. Useful. Sacrifice traits. Nope. Excess Energy. Very tempting. And Trapper. Okay, so I'm going to go with Excess Energy. More particulates. Probably a good thing. Note to self. Stop casting. I'm going to have to use Pressure Blast to take him out. Okay, there we go. Reduce cooldowns. Grab the double combiner. Actually, could have gotten a triple if I picked it up, but at the same time, doesn't matter that much. Let's go through. Yeah, that was a weird lag spike, and I need to worry about those Aqua Spirits. I do kind of wish you could get Scarlet Salvo to somehow adjust how, you know, close to the hip they... Oh, what the... No. The bandit stunned me. Freaking bandit stunned me, and our inventory is full. That's a concern. Luckily, we do have runes that we can put in, so let's boost up Scarlet Salvo. Because speed, tempting, but it's not that great. But I can't boost that up anymore. Let's see, Mindlessness, Supernova. I could just put a bunch of Earth runes into Supernova. It's either that or Lights Nova. I'm really not okay with the idea of using Lights Nova, though. So actually, instead of just randomly trying to assort runes into things that we think are good, let's, again, check what I can make. Because at this point, I don't remember. I clicked Discovered. Guess it didn't agree with me. So we could do Guy's Protection, Seismic Stomp, Karen's Whirlpool, Shock Array. Shock Array isn't bad. Let's cool down on it. It's only 1 second. And it has a really long range, so that actually is kind of okay. Not the best, though. Fortify, Ice Storm, Force Pulse, Wind Aura. I already wasted that one. Active Pillar. Power Bolt. Could go with Power Bolt. I guess what I really should do is just be patient for a little bit longer, get that triple, and see what happens when I get Water Shock. Because that could be a good spell. I'm going to pick up all of the faux hearts. Not because I specifically need them right now, but this way I can keep track of where all of my red hearts are. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. This is a serious problem. Okay. This is a serious problem. At the very least, we somehow have a red heart sitting around in here. Which, actually, okay, I'm very glad we picked up that red heart earlier. So what I'm going to do around here is actually just try and keep my distance as best as possible. And watch out for those rings of death and destruction. Oh god, we're going to get murdered by the Bombardier. It's shitty and sucks. He has a lot of health left too. And unfortunately, we don't have a good way of dealing damage to him right now. And he has that freaking stun ability move too. So what I'm going to do is do the super shitty method that seems to work 90% of the time, all the time. He's dead. Okay. Whew. That sucked. I really hate the Bombardier. Like all the other ones you can kind of get used to. And you'd think, oh, you know, it's the Bombardier. Keep your distance. Nope. Actually, best way to kill the Bombardier is just get up close and personal and back your ass into him if you're using Scarlet Salvo. Because it does a lot of damage when you're backing your ass up. Anyway, since we're injured, I'm going to wait a little bit on the Supernova, just so we have it in the next room. Watch it be a storage room. The answer is no. Aquaems and Mystic Statue, which means we want to nuke from that distance so we don't end up getting hit by his crazy, stupid spell. Okay. I do kind of wish Scarlet Salvo was homing. That would be amazing. But, ultimately, extraordinarily unfair. Let's get the last of the hearts. There is nothing here. Mini-bosses are terrifying. But, ultimately, I'd say rewarding, but we really didn't get much of a reward for it. I am scared of the summoners. I'm scared of a lot of things. We got red bones and ninjas, too. Oh, right. I forgot. I always forget. I've got this crazy lightning spell that I technically can use. It's just not very good. And apparently Pressure Blast will actually knock them around. Okay, still no double combiner, but we did get a little bit lucky in terms of one thing. We get Pair of Hearts. We're pretty close to full health, which is great. So, again, even though this run is not exactly what I would call confidence-inspiring. Let's see if I can crush them. Okay, red bones. There's still one more red bones. Or there was one less, but I kind of messed it up. Okay, precise movements. The armor one is tempting, but getting stunned on hit is terrifying. So let's do extra bullet that does extra damage. Because that could be good. And we still don't have that triple. We really don't have a whole lot we can put in either. I guess we only need one shock. So I'm actually going to go and put these in. Because if I can get this... Actually, it can only take one more before it's maxed. Good to know. I can't take any more air. Not really putting any points in Mad Lightning. Might as well max out Mindlessness, actually. Because it doesn't buff the boost at all. And might as well get rid of the Earth Runes. I have currently no use for them, and probably won't. Unless I really decide that I need Lights Nova. But I'm trying my hardest to stay away from that spell. It's an amazing spell, and probably would make this a hell of a lot easier, but I overused it. And I do like the idea of being a unique person. Uh-oh. That was terrifying. I hate getting stunned by enemies. Gotta get close. Okay, gotta crush the red bones at the very least. And use my extreme range in favor of murdering all of these necroskeletons. Okay, it kind of worked. So, at the very least, let's turn these off. I have no idea if there's actually any red hearts here. Doesn't look like it. That's a shame. Okay, well, we're still not terrifyingly injured. Let's go through, pop Mindlessness, Supernova, womp them all, kill the Focused Witch. Looks like there's a Necromancer. Oh yeah, there he is. Maybe he'll be nice and give us a double combiner so we can make that spell that was requested. Because I'm trying to fulfill orders again. Recently I got a little bit selfish and was just being like, I'm just going to make whatever I want because, I don't know, I'm the Wanderbot and stuff. Okay, watch it. He actually chucks those. Also does other things. None of which are particularly friendly. So we have at least one heart left. And in fact, that's like the only thing. I am a bit flabbergasted that I haven't pissed off any Ents. I think this is a good point for me to stop shooting. So we can go back to that room, and I'm crossing my fingers that those aren't faux hearts, because that would piss me off a little bit. Going next floor half health would suck. Looks like it's a regular heart. It's just hiding somewhere. Ah, there it is. I like the sparkle. Okay, so we're a bit injured, but if we get lucky on the next floor, then we should survive. I'm a little bit concerned about my chances overall, but largely that's sheerly because my build is partial at best, disjointed at worst. I don't know, it's across the board not a very good situation to be in. If I get the chance for double combiner, I'm probably going to go with it. Doesn't look like we get it. So do we want density? Very tempting. Crit defense, it's alright. I'm going to go with density. We do get knocked around a lot, and I kind of dismiss that. It's like very few enemies have knockback. But I do have to say, the ones that do tend to be the ones that I don't want to get hit by knockback by the most. Yeah, no, it definitely, I will say that like chain shock ability is just not, it's just not good enough. Because, like, it has some interesting applications, and maybe it'll be, like, super duper fantastic for certain other parts, but at the same time, in a lot of cases, it's just going to be mediocre. Okay, so we've got a pair of regular hearts. I'm not going to pick them up. We're going to make shock water, or I could do speed fire dark. I'm going to go with speed fire dark, actually. I heard, well, A, we're not using speed. We are using fire. That is the one thing we waste here. Oh, is one of these better than the other? Nope. Oh, wait, no, that's... Oh, speed fire dark. There's no entropy here. Okay, speed fire dark. Make the triple. What do we get? It's called Dark Scythe. Scythe projectile that accelerates. Each scythe applies a stacking debuff from -1 to primary marine levels. Holy crap. The only problem about it is the cooldown is kind of bad. But the rest of it is pretty good, so I'm going to get rid of Mad Lightning. But that actually, the one problem is it doesn't look like it has strike through. So, it's a solid spell. I want to see how it performs. Hopefully we get another triple along the way, because I'd really like to make shock water as well. Because, I don't know, I'm in an adventurous mood right now. And let's just use that. Oh, right, I actually have to use the scythe for things. The one problem is it's got a semi-short cooldown, and that ends up being, geez, Mystic Statues, you are terrifying. Wait, okay. He almost made it away with my... Oh, shoot, those were a pair of health runes. I was not paying attention there. Oh, well, should be fine. Maybe. I mean, this puts us at full health, and if we're lucky... Those are lasers. Ow. Ow. Okay, if we're lucky, we won't take too much damage between here and there, and maybe pick up a couple more hearts, so I don't have to worry about it. But that way, I will just essentially have I will have a very powerful... Wait, what am I talking about? I don't know. I got really scatterbrained because I was trying to figure out what I was doing here. Oh, yeah, that's more health. Not going to pick it up, though. Actually, go back to the previous room. Okay, so judging by things, we have 4 hearts sitting around in what I like to call escrow. Not actually really escrow, but whatever. It works. We got 5, 6, and I'm not taking too much damage here, so assuming that I don't get my face handed to me by the boss, that actually puts us in a really solid position. Very glad I got Scarlet Salvo for this. Unfortunately, these guys tend to teleport before I get an actual good shot in. Oh well. Doesn't matter that much. Let's just get over here, murder their face. Took a little bit of damage, but it wasn't much. Okay, so the scythe, as far as I can tell, I'm a little bit disappointed that the scythe isn't a strike-through type ability. I would definitely take a penalty. Uh-oh. There we go. I would definitely take a penalty on the... Ooh, that's a +2 Aqua Imp. And a +1 Bandit Ace. Okay, there we go. We get a double combiner and stuff. Let's go for the event room. So I'm feeling pretty hale and hearty. It's stasis. Okay. I'm trying to decide how stupid this is. On one hand, it's really dumb. On the other hand, it's super freaking dumb. There's a heart in here, though. That is encouraging. I could make Lights Nova. Could. The scythe is good. The problem is it's got a semi-long cooldown. It's 3 times longer than pressure blast, and as far as I can tell, it is a single target. It's great for taking on bosses, but it's worthless for taking on groups of enemies. Again, let's consult the Runedex. What creatable spells do we have? Because what we need is just massive amounts of damage and or defensive capabilities. Traveler's not good. Whirlpool's tempting. Aqua Devils. Aqua Devils isn't bad. Particle Spray, Steam Blast, Reactive Pillar. Reactive Pillar is tempting. But it'd probably be worthless by the end of it. Waves of Discord isn't bad either. Honestly, all of these are kind of not what we want. And that depresses me a little bit. Okay, so in that case, what we're going to do is just throw fire runes into Scarlet Salvo to the point where, yep, there we go. That would normally be maxed. I'm hoping mindlessness is enough to make up for, you know, the sheer penalty as a result of this. Wow, actually putting earth runes in really does increase the minimum range. Boost up the maximum range too. Because ideally, I would like to supernova. And that maxes that out, I think. Yeah, because we can actually put in 1 more earth rune into supernova. Because I think we have double primal mastery. And we've got air. I could just try and rely on pressure blast because I'm not using air. Oh, I kind of am. It's not speed. It's kind of useful, kind of not. It already moves pretty fast. Oh. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to waste the air runes. I'm just going to bank on the fact that we're going to be able to complete this event room. We've got plenty of hearts, and I'm feeling gutsy here. Let's also throw a mind rune into this, because its pressure blast is going to be severely impacted as a result of all of this. So what we're going to do is start with... We're going to start with mindlessness, class ability, supernova. Okay, so this does increase the damage of everything we do by a substantial amount. Okay, we're good. We do sufficiently reduce damage, but in the end, it works out. I'm going to increase our maximum HP. We could go with High Roller, tempting, but not really. Pickup of items to lower your cooldown, 2.5 seconds. That's very good. Class ability knockback. Kleptomaniac. That's essentially going to mean we get to use supernova after every room, and we've got more red hearts. Love those things. Let's go back for this one, just because. Okay, and because of my timing with the supernova and whatnot, well, puts us in a very good position to have all of our spells very early on. I like this. This is working out. And we've got insane amounts of red hearts, so in that case, I'm actually going to pick this one up. Might as well. We're going to go fight the boss. I guess largely because... if I win, I get a triple combiner. We're full health, and there's no guarantee I won't die before then. Oh, it's the darkness. That's a relief. The darkness is an interesting fight. We also have crazy range. So, anybody coming close to us, I'm going to have to watch out for spell effects, but anybody close to us is generally going to get rebuffed by, you know, Scarlet Salvo just doing crazy damage. We are going to potentially have to worry about the occasional projectile coming through our space and the occasional, you know, Torturemancer messing with our shiz, but at the same time, I can't imagine we're going to have too much trouble in this boss fight. Honestly, I really can't see this boss fight as being particularly terrible ever. It's one of those where it's like, I could see somebody having serious issues with it, but at the same time, oh, I am not hitting this enough. Luckily, anything approaching us from behind that is not a projectile pretty much just gets walloped, which is exactly what we need. I will admit this boss fight is a little bit easier when you are playing as a... Let's keep these torches up. Luckily, it's very easy to aim pressure blast with this one. The wibbly woos are pain in the ass to dodge, though. Okay, let's just murder Torturemancer. Luckily that has really crazy knockback. Note to self, use knockback boosts with pressure blast. Ends up being very high on the knockback. That doesn't surprise me much, because the basic air blast ends up being a fair amount too. Anyway, we're not as good at this as like if we were doing a Lights Nova build, but at the same time, it's still pretty good. It's decently long range. We're taking some damage here and there, but honestly, the boss is not going to last long against our Torrent. In fact, great time for a Supernova. Clear everything out. Seems to have worked. Oh, that's the spell. That's actually a really good spell, and probably would have fit this build well. I'm gonna hang out over here for a second while those stuff. Uh-oh. Got that Torturemancer's messing with our stuff too. It's okay. The boss is about to go down. They are boosting up their efforts though, but that's okay. That was an easy boss fight. So we have at least a couple rooms left. Would be very surprised if there were more than that. So we could do more EXP or more runes. I'm gonna go with more EXP because talent. At this point, runes would be nice, but I'm just going to trust in your guys' suggestions. So, water shock. I don't think I've made it before. Water shock. What's it do? Biting echoes. So, it has strike through, does some amount of damage. Fires a pillar of water that reflects backwards in smaller beams when it hits a wall. Pierces enemies indestructible. Splits multiple times, but damage and size is reduced for every split. It's got a very long cooldown, though. It's a fascinating spell, though. Is it an ultimate? Must be. Maybe. Let's see what it says. Doesn't say. Okay. Well, whatever. But yeah, that cooldown, 25 seconds for that amount of damage. So it must have a very long duration. I hope. Well, considering we're not using water runes anyway, let's just boost up that. That didn't even increase the split factor at all. That's concerning. Anyway, can't put anything in there, anything in there, anything in there. Okay, so we got one air rune. Might as well boost up the speed on this one. Seems to really boost up the speed anyway. And let's pick up one of these hearts. Wow, this was a very, very forgiving floor. I'm a little bit floored. Hard. Okay, let's just... Holy crap, that has a crazy amount of distance. Did you see? It did things on the other side of the map, and since we've got the minimum range so high, anything remotely close to me just gets kind of walloped. That's really good. So, the one thing is, I'm not sure if those little yellow hearts are counted when you're asking about pickups and stuff. Let's just take out the Mystic Statue by rotating around it, and go after the Bandit Ace. Because murder butt. Oh, holy crap, that was a lot of damage. Okay, actually, next up, we need to go after that Mystic Gateway, because everything else is terrifying. And the bandits... Trying to hit him. Oh, holy crap, that has a lot of range. Okay, wait, that's not what I want. There we go. Wow. Note to self, that's an amazing spell. Not sure where and when I'm going to use it, but it's definitely an amazing spell, and I'm going to use it more often, especially because... with all of the random cooldown pickups that we've got going for us, I can actually use it fairly frequently. Note to self, though, use Mindlessness before casting it. It actually works as a very good alternate to... Jeez, that's a lot of stuff. I am happy with that spell. Wow. That's a good spell. Thanks, whomever suggested that one. Unfortunately, at this point, I need to put names next to the suggestions. I'll start doing that in the future. But, wow. This is a short floor, too. I think we're already full health. Okay, well, it's just, there's no reason to go for that. I'm not even sure what that bluish aura is. Scares me, though. Scares me a lot. Anyway, let's go down a floor. What can I do? Knockback, shock levels, earth levels. I'm trying to remember what even uses shock in our build. The answer is not much. Knockback is tempting. Earth levels, also tempting. But I'm really only using that for Supernova. Let's go with shock levels. We have two spells that use shock, and might as well get a boost from them. Let's quickly look back at the spell. Yeah, that actually increases its damage. Awesome. Okay. So, we're on to the floor 7, which is really encouraging. Chances of us beating this, I don't know. Really does kind of depend on what boss fight we run into. We've got a decent amount of health. We've got great healing. Unfortunately, we couldn't take all that great healing with us, so there's no guarantee we're going to do nearly as well on the next floor. But who knows? As far as things go, if I do get the chance, I'm probably going to replace the scythe
With Prismatic Devil, I'm saving entropy runes for it. I know I use it fairly frequently, but it is a very solid spell. Seriously. So anyway, I'm rambling, and we're pretty much, well, we're going on to part 3. So I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.